Good morning, here is the news at 10. First, the highlights. Governor Sanwo-Olu procures additional rolling stock for Blue Red Line rail operations from China. Federal government bars states from collecting mining royalties. On the foreign scene, Kenya gas blast claims 3 lives, injures about 300 people. And in Sports, Confederation of African Football names Senegalese referee for Super Eagles Angola quarterfinal clash. And now the details. I am Mike James. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says his administration has procured additional rolling stocks for the Blue Line and Red Line rail operations to bring more relief to millions of Lagos residents. Governor Sanwo-Olu says the additional rolling stocks are expected to arrive in Lagos before the end of the year. The Lagos State team, through its partners, secured an agreement for the additional rolling stocks for the Blue Line and Red Line rails to be ready within a year and delivered before the end of the year, as against the normal 2-year period that it takes for the construction company to build the coaches. Speaking during a high-level meeting of Lagos State government officials with the president and management of the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation at its headquarters in Beijing, China, Governor Sanwo-Olu reiterated his administration's commitment to the completion of the second phase of the Blue Line Rail project and flag-off of the commercial operations of the Red Line Rail project. The governor, who expressed satisfaction with the pace of progress of the Red Line project, hinted that the state government is ready to inaugurate the Red Line rail for commercial operations as soon as the presidency communicates the availability of President Bola Tinubu, who had agreed in principle to officially inaugurate the project. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has directed the Motor Vehicle Administration Agency (MVAA) to align its fees with the provisions of the Lagos State Transport Sector Law of 2018. The General Manager of MVAA, Rashid Muri Okunla, who conveyed the directive of the Governor, said compliance with the fees prescribed by the Lagos State Transport Sector Law of 2018 takes effect from 1st March 2024. Muri Okunla said with the directive of the Governor, the fees by MVAA will now align with the Lagos State Transport Sector Law 2018. Schedules 1 and 2 of the registration and regulation of the activities of motor vehicle and motor spare parts dealers within the state. It stated that the fees prescribed by the Transport Law 2018 are 150,000 naira for motor vehicle dealers registered as limited liability companies, while an individual and business name vehicle dealer will pay 100,000 naira only. In the same vein, the registration fees for motor vehicle spare parts dealers registered as limited liability companies will be 70,000 naira, while individual or business name fees will be 50,000 naira only. Muri Okunla warned that once the approved fees take effect, anyone who defaults from making the correct payment will be prosecuted in line with Section 208 of the Lagos State Transport Sector Law 2018. In a bid to ensure that Lagos State is rid of substance abuse, Lagos Ministry of Youth and Social Development has collaborated with the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA). The alliance, aimed at forming a formidable front to tackle the menace of drug abuse, took place when officers of the agency paid a courtesy visit to the ministry at the Secretariat at Alausa. Welcoming the NDLEA team to the ministry, Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogunlende, stated that the visitation was not only timely, but would give the fight against drugs needed impetus. And while promising NDLEA the necessary logistics support required to destroy the drugs confiscated by the agency, Ogunlende assured the officers of an open door policy, as well as scaling up advocacy and sensitization in combating drug abuse. The new state commander of the NDLEA, Abubakar Wali, assured the Ministry of support in terms of education on drug abuse as well as confiscation of drugs, adding that the agency believed in effective collaboration with all stakeholders. The Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA, and the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, have met to discuss ways of implementing sustainable waste management strategies following the recent ban on the use of styrofoam packs in the state. Addressing the stakeholders, Managing Director, CEO of LOMA, Muyiwa Gbadegeshi, reiterated the authority's commitment to the Lagos State government's Themes Plus agenda, stressing that the state government had to ban styrofoam to protect the environment and safeguard public health. Earlier in his opening address, the immediate past chairman of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, Frank Oyegbu, noted that the meeting was convened to be on the same page with the Lagos State government on matters of the environment, adding that a bold step was being taken by the association in providing alternatives to the current implementation of the ban on styrofoam products. The meeting had in attendance the management staff of Loma, representatives of plastic production companies in Lagos, and members of MAN. And now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has warned states and local governments to steer clear of the collection of royalties and taxes from licensed miners operating in their domains. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, who gave the warning in Kaduna, also said miners and operators owe the federal government more than 2 trillion naira, calling on them to pay the debt. Alake was represented by the Acting Zonal Mines Officer, Northwest Zonal Office, Kutman Ali, met with members of the licensed minerals holders, laterite sand operators dealers in Kaduna, while explaining that the purpose of the meeting was to unveil the ministry's plan for miners and operators for 2024. The minister said in Kaduna alone, miners and operators owe the federal government over 300 billion naira. He stressed that operators must monthly pay royalties and taxes to the federal government, and then that royalties and taxes were the exclusive reserve of the federal government. Following the killing of 2 traditional rulers in Ekiti State, the Nigeria Police Force has deployed helicopter and armored personnel carriers to the southwest state. This was as President Bola Tinubu ordered the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, to ensure that all the perpetrators are apprehended and caused to face the full wrath of the law. The 2 monarchs were killed when they were returning from a meeting in Irele, Ekiti on Monday. The force spokesman, Miwa Adejobi, said the police has added strategic deployments to deal with the incident, while assuring the residents of the state that pupils and teachers kidnapped around Ekporo, Ekiti area of the state will be rescued. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force says vehicles with unauthorized tinted glasses contribute to the ubiquitous kidnappings and crimes in the country. Spokesman Muiwa Adejobi, who made this known, said the police will soon clamp down on such vehicles. According to Adejobi, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, had a meeting with experts and officers on how to review the issuance of tinted permit for vehicles. Adejobi adds that the use of unregistered vehicles is criminal and warned those covering their number plates to desist from such acts. And over to foreign news. A huge gas blast in Kenyan capital, Nairobi, has killed at least 3 people and injured nearly 300. Reports says a lorry carrying gas exploded in Embakasi district, igniting a huge ball of fire. Housing, businesses and cars were damaged, with video showing a huge blaze raging close to blocks of flats. Earlier, the government had said the blast happened at a gas plant. The cause is still being established and the death toll could rise. And then in sports news, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has named Senegalese official Issa Sy as the center referee for the quarter-final game of the Africa Cup of Nations between Nigeria and Angola. The Super Eagles will face the Palancas Negras in one of the last 8 games of the 34th edition of the AFCON today in Abidjan. The Senegalese referee is no stranger to the Angolan players, as he was the man in charge of their first Group D clash with Algeria in Bouaké in January 15. Sy was equally taxed with the officiating of the last Group E game between South Africa and Tunisia. The 39-year-old center referee will have compatriots Jibril Kamara and Noha Bangura in tow as assistant referee 1 and assistant referee 2, alongside Mauritanian official Abdelaziz Bo as a 4th official. The winner of today's encounter will square up with the winner of the clash between Cape Verde's Blue Sharks and South Africa's Bafana in one of the semi-final matches in Boaké. And that was our news at 10. But just before we go, use the walkway where available to avoid accidents. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Watch us live on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, and on YouTube. Subscribe and watch all our previous programs and news on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration began the rehabilitation of its coconut belt in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO? Well, you can get more details. It's on the Lagos State government website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said his administration has procured additional rolling stocks for the Blue Line and Red Line rail operations to bring more relief to millions of Lagos residents. The federal government has warned state and local governments to steer clear of the collection of royalties and taxes from licensed miners operating in their domain. And we also told you that a huge blast in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, has killed at least 3 people and injured nearly 300. In sports, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has named Senegalese official Issa Sy as the center referee for the quarterfinal game of the Africa Cup of Nations between Nigeria and Angola. And for contacts with the newsroom, send a message to Lagos Traffic Radio at lagosstates.gov.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbalago. Thank you for listening. My name is Mike James. Good morning.